Happy 2026, everybody. It's a whole new year, which means every artist on YouTube is doing their whole 2025 sketchbook tour. I do not have one designated sketchbook for 2025. I actually didn't do much in 2025. I have sketchbooks sporadically from 2023, 2024, and 2025. But I didn't really get a chance to do much. So I'm gonna show you between these two. I think this is actually my newest one, so I don't have much in here. I just have a couple from 2025. And this one is almost full, but not quite. This is not gonna be like the cleanest sketchbook tour because I don't go one page at a time in my sketchbooks. I actually tend to skip around when I'm doing art. So it's gonna be interesting. I personally have been using this sketchbook for longer than the year. I actually started it in 2023, but I rarely ever finish a sketchbook in a single year. It tends to last me a while. This was originally an idea for, I think, a curtain. Yes, this was originally a design for a curtain that I was painting with fabric paint that I was gonna hang up in our house. This one I was practicing with my Ohuhu markers. I got all of these different swatches for the colors I was using for the Hobbit and fairy doors. I really don't have much to say here. Like, I'm just practicing with shading and highlights and just messing around. These are not my favorite pieces, of course. This is just goes to show there's a couple things that you can put in your sketchbook that is just so you learn the supplies that you have. It's not always necessarily about creating a complete masterpiece. This is one of the few character designs I started but never finished, and just a bunch of random strawberries for some reason. This was a design idea for a painting I was making for my godmother. Started as a exploration on crystals and shading and highlights and learning my Ohuhu markers. You can see I did that a lot in this sketchbook. This page was all in dedication to Chloe, my cat who passed away a couple of years ago. This is actually a little backwards. The first version of this I did further in the sketchbook. I bounce around in my sketchbook. I never do things in order in my sketchbook. And these are like the different swatches, and I was trying more color theory of, instead of just starting with like a light red going to a dark red, I was practicing using the opposite end of the color wheel and gradually working my way up to adjust the colors. This was the first version of the dragon fruit ghosties. When I was playing with my markers, I had no plan whatsoever. I literally just picked up a random marker and just splotched a bunch of shapes. That was something I was doing a lot in this sketchbook, was just grabbing a random marker, doing a shape, and then seeing what I could create afterwards. This was a design for a little sign that I made for my godmother. She needed something for her dishwasher, so I painted on just a little circular piece of wood and glued a magnet on the back so that one side says clean and then you turn it upside down and it says dirty. None of these are like my original designs. I think I was trying to do a couple different things on artists that inspired me. More of the marker shapes and just doing fun little designs and random drawings. And I call this a Burrito the Dragon. It originally started off as one of my just random marker shapes, like things like this. And it was just, I think it was orange. I can't remember if it was orange or yellow starting off. And then it just looked like an open burrito here. And I ended up doing a dragon egg and playing with the scales in the eye. The lavender came out really cool. I love the lavender one. And these are just like different ideas I had for like a book nook. This was like the first idea I came up with, and it is cute. I do like it. I just thought it was like it was just too simple, too simplified. I really liked more of the whimsy of this one being like a rounded cutout book nook with the like branch designs around the edge here, and then this would be another mosaic window or stained glass. It was just I really love this circular version. It's amazing. I love this one. This I definitely want in my home one day. It's too pretty not to. A couple more dragon studies, like different scales and shading and highlighting. This was a rough sketch for a drawing I do later. This is not my original artwork. I just drew most of the basic shape and added my own spin to a couple things like the coloring and the eye pupils, but honestly this is not my original. Here I was doing some more studies with the crystals and the marker, and here I asked my wife what I should draw one day, and she said a Mario mushroom, so I made it blue for her since that's her favorite color. This particular piece is the last in my sketchbook, and I'm hoping to revisit this later one day because I had never used gouache before or on this paper, and I'm not sure if that was the problem I was having. And lastly, my portal dragon painting. That was the very last thing I did for 2025, and I think it's a really great way to end the year and show that even when sometimes your sketchbook doesn't look the greatest, it still shows that you do learn skills even just playing around in your sketchbook.